Hello, everybody. Welcome to Game 2 of the FBA Finals. My name is Marcus Baylor, and right here to my right is Ryan Eastman. And here we are getting ready for another game that hopefully will be a little bit more exciting than last.
What, you don't enjoy a 20-point blowout? I mean, you were
um,
you were screaming, I felt like
there were such well, it was mainly because the fact that there were just some things that were probably a little too dirty to be going on the Dakota side after that crazy what seemed like a highlight reel on their end. But right now, we do want to see an actual exciting game from both teams.
very true. I think last night Dakota showed us why they can be so dangerous as a scoring team. I mean, they were over 120, averaging 30 points a quarter there. When their offense is on fire, it rolls, and that's the mark that BOV either has to match or stop if they want to win.
Yeah, I will have to agree there. I think one of the biggest things that you have to put into focus is really try to tweak the defense a little bit, and I wouldn't say a whole lot, but yeah, just a tad bit to be able to go ahead and find some kind of answer for those pick and rolls. Because as you said, because right now they're really getting beaten by their own kind of medicine.
That and the transitional defense. I mean, how many times yesterday did we see either Sylvius or Lawyer just run to the corner and shoot off a three in the first 5 seconds of the shot clock?
Yeah, it's really a bit of a, I guess you can say, sloppy play that kind of got into their mindset of not being able to play that clean defense as they were used to seeing. So, what do you think is a good way to find a way to pretty much keep that in mind, but not try to like get too associated with it and try to not make any other mistakes that could be costly?
Well, the point comes down to how aggressive is BLV going to be going for the offensive rebound? Because if you're going to commit to going for the offensive rebound and you don't get it, suddenly Dakota is going to send its players down quickly in a fast break opportunity because they know they have Derby, who is the tallest player of the basically on the floor right now. You saw him yesterday pull down 27 rebounds. He is very well trusted by Dakota to just leave alone to get the rebound while the rest of the team runs down the court. So either BLV is going to have to commit only one player to going for an offensive rebound and everyone else fall back, or they're going to need to start winning those offensive rebound battles against Derby.
I will agree with that. I think also when it comes to the rebounding perspective, when it comes to Dakota and who they should probably target a little bit more would be Craig Reinhardt, because as we said, because even though Benjamin Derby really did have a fantastic game last night, we can't really just uh, put the effort away when it comes to Greg Reinhardt, because he was almost a 2020 himself, being able to get
Yes.
that I believe 23.17 rebounds, if I recall correctly, from
It was like
um,
29 points. But
29.
don't forget, 15 of his points came from the free throw line, which is still producing points. However, if Dakota starts to realize how he's drawing contact, they'll back off. He definitely had a great field performance as well. I think shooting almost 50% from the field. But when 15 of your 29 points come from the free throw line, eventually the calls are not going to go your way. The refs aren't going to keep calling uh, freebies against you or for you, especially as they are under the radar here, being looked at by millions of fans, especially in Dakota, getting booed every time they blow their whistle.
Yeah, I will have to agree with that. Speaking of the crowd, Biloxi got a good taste of it last night, and I think they were a little bit rattled. That might be an understatement, but it is what it is. Do you think that with that experience of how rowdy this crowd can be, do you think they'll be able to play this game with a little bit more of a calm mind?
Well, most professional players deal with rowdy crowds every day when it comes to the game. It's just something that they have to learn to adapt to and tone out of their mind. I think the biggest factor that they need to worry about is the pressure of being in the finals for the first time in forever for BLV. there is a lot riding on this series. I believe it's been 27 years since they last won a championship as the Mud Puppies. Uh, the fans, especially once they go home, are going to be a double-edged sword. They're going to definitely be cheering hard for them, but they are also going to be ravenous for a championship.
Yeah, I will definitely have to agree with you on that.
So, how about your opinion on what BLV needs to do? You mentioned switching up uh, the defense a little bit, but anything more specific that you think we'll see from BLV tonight as they try to overcome that deficit?
I think it's pretty obvious that really the two biggest stars that came into their roster, Derek Kim and a little bit of Sterling Banks, but more so Derek Kim. We're hoping that we get to see um, a little bit of more of an impressive play from compared to what he has done last night, because I'm sure that he had no excuses when it comes to how poorly he played. And I'm sure he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, especially. So I would think to see, hopefully, we would see a great night from him. I know that like going up against a more bigger guard in Matt here is can get a little bit overwhelming if he continues pressuring on that defense. But sooner or later, he will be able to find a way to get past that weasel. I would think so.
Yeah, and it's going to be a question for Derek Kim how if he decides to keep pushing his shot, because if he's not making his basket, is it worth giving up that avenue of attack and pushing elsewhere with Kasper Kusik, who's also great from the perimeter? Feckle showed she could shoot from long range as well, or even dishing it down to Sterling and seeing if he can get anything going against Derby. Definitely, you want to see Kim putting up shots, but hopefully good shots, because forcing the shots will not go well for him or BLV, but that is something that he has learned, I think, over time, especially with his time in Winnipeg, where he really was the only scorer outside of Yves. And I think the same here, he's found at least multiple furs he can dish the ball to and get the scoring done with, so there's a little bit less pressure on him in Biloxi compared to Winnipeg. But I think that mentality of him having to score still exists within the Bird.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there. And it's speaking of just being able to be reliant upon his teammates. A little, I would have to say that his teammates do have to step up as well. I know that with Banksing and his battles with Benjamin Derby, considering that he is much smaller than the Deer, it's still going to be tough for him throughout really the entire series. But he's going to have it's going. I think that he'll be able to find a way to use that scrappiness and, of course, getting that little attitude, getting a bit of getting a bit of a revenge story. Excuse me, my freaking oh boy.
I
I
mean,
guess yesterday's hit by Blade. I'm showing a little bit of rust right now.
definitely. I mean, you say much smaller. I mean, 4 inches is definitely a small disadvantage, but I think he might be counting his graces that he's not having to guard DQ, who would have had over a foot advantage on him. Plus, Jake also picking on him in the post would have been interesting. Uh, BLV with Sterling does need to step up and actually match Derby in terms of scoring and perhaps put a little bit more pressure on stopping him. We saw yesterday him able to buckle down and prevent Derby from getting easy baskets at times. He forced him to take fadeaway jumpers. But if he does not stay hip to hip with Derby the whole time, Derby's just going to go in for those dunks like we saw yesterday and that alley oop even from John to Derby on the highlight reel.
Yeah, I definitely would have to agree. Um, do you think there's anyone from the bench from either side that can be more of an impact? I know that we've seen Butler uh, had a little bit of good showing from Biloxi.
I'd like to see more from Newton. He having being technically the oldest veteran on either team would be expected to step up in the best and brightest moments of the FBA. However, yesterday I think he only ended up getting 5 or 6 points coming off the bench. Would have expected a little bit more coming out from the squirrel there.
Okay.
And actually, I think both teams are getting ready to take the floor, so we'll switch on over to the actual game here in a second.
All right, let's go ahead and get these things started for game 2. Biloxi going up against Dakota, and here comes the tip-off. And we're on our way with Biloxi once again getting the opening tip. Kim with the rock, passing it over to Evans. Evans going to Feckle. Tanya passing it back to Kim. Kim trying to go for a little drive, going for the 15-footer, and it's in. So Biloxi getting the first shot. Let's hope they'll be able to get some momentum going as Laurier brings it up. Passes over to Matthew. The Weasel. Passing it over to Redfield. Big Red going over to Sylvia. Sylvia's with open lane. Passing it to Derby. Nice fancy passing there as Sylvia steps back for the 3. And it's good. So right now Dakota is up 3-2. Kim passing it up to Feckle. Feckle going over to Bing Zing. Right now we're seeing a lot of passing in the perimeter as Kim goes for a long 2, and he's able to make it. And right now Kim is doing a fantastic job of getting a rhythm going in the early going of this game.
Night and day compared to yesterday. 2 for 2 so far in the first 2 shots of the game.
As Derby going over to Lawyer. Lawyer lobbing it over to Mishima. Good passing along the perimeter. As Sylvius goes into the paint with Mishima. Mishima stuck there. Redfield for the open 3. No good. Hitting to the side of the rim. As Feckle is able to well her way in there. Feckle going over to Kim. Kim taking it over to Bankston. And Bankston gets fouled hard by Sylvius. Nice little mismatch there. He had no choice but to pull his arm a little bit.
Yeah, especially since Derby ended up guarding Kim there for a second. Kim debating whether or not to drive past the big deer, but decided to pass to the mismatch down in the post.
And as we get to see Banksy making his first point for the game. And Sterling was able to make the second one. So now Biloxi's up by 3. A nice start for them once again. As we get to see Sylvius pass it over to the Meerkat. The Meerkat going over to Derby. Derby taking it over to Sylvius. Sylvius for 3. And no good there. And this hits to the back of the rim as Evans gets the board. And he passes it over to Kusik. The rookie passing it over to Feckle. Feckle for 3. And it hits the back of the rim as well. Sylvius passing in the paint to Mika. Mika laying it up. No good there. And Evans with his first personal. So right now we're seeing the defense going toe-to-toe a little bit here on both sides.
Yes, we are. First 2 minutes of the game already expired, and both teams under double digits, 6-3 right now. Mishima missing his first shot.
Mika's taking his sweet time, trying to make sure.
Oh, especially after missing your first one.
Oh, misses the second one as well. As Feckle was able to bring it up. Feckle taking it over to Kim. Kim passing it to Evans. Evans just waiting for the play to develop. As he passes over back to Kim. Kim's only got 5 seconds on the shot clock. As he tries to go through the screen, but he hasn't go for a long 2, and it gets blocked easily. So a shot clock violation. I don't know what Kim was trying to think here, being a little too hesitant.
Almost blocked a second time had the shot clock not gone off.
And Sylvie is able to bring it back over to Dakota after the turnover by Biloxi. I think that was the first one for them. As you get to Sylvius, going over to Derby. Derby going for the fadeaway jumper, but he misses it. Feckle picking up the boards right now in the early going of this game.
Yeah, that's exactly what Sterling needs to do. Keep Derby from giving an inch into the post.
We're going to see a nice screen from Banksting as Kim is wide open for that 3. Biloxi is showing a lot of life in the early going of this game.
Yeah, Kim, 3 for 4 so far. 7 of the points. Sylvius alley-oop to Derby, though. Oh, my.
An excellent answer from that nice three as the rookie, Kusik, trying to one-up the Meerkat, and he has to go for a jumper, but no good. Defense was good there, but a second chance points. Not able to get it. Kusik gets it back, though.
Derby with the block now on defense, stepping up suddenly, getting the crowd excited.
As we go ahead and see the Kusik. Passing it, and bad pass by the rookie. Redfield takes it with ease. Don't know what he was doing there as Silvius gets the board, going for the 15-footer, and it is good. So Biloxi is only up by 2, 9-7.
Thought he was going for another alley-oop there almost. Derby was just standing under the basket waiting for it too.
And right now we get to see the rookie Kusik taking his time.
Watch out for Kim off the screen.
Kim with the easy long two, but not able to make it there. Silvius going over to Laurier. Laurier for three, and it rattles home.
Dakota with the first lead of the game now, 10-9.
We're going to see Kim passing it to Kusik. Kusik going over to Banksing. Banksing felt a lot of passing going around for the perimeter. And we get to see Kim going wide open for three. No good, though. As we get to see Laurier for a three, making them pay. So right now, again, the fast transition being a little bit of an issue.
I mean, 8 of their points have come off fast breaks so far.
We get to see Kim going for the long two, and he's able to quiet the noise down a little bit, as Biloxi's only down by 2 this time.
9 points for him so far.
And Laurier was able to get the and one, as the rookie had no choice but to foul. Kusik with his first.
Focusing on the perimeter for a little bit, then diving down to the paint can throw a rookie off, especially when they're trying to defend someone with so much range in the game.
Laurier was able to get the 3 points as Dakota's up 16-11. Kim passing over to Kusik. Kusik taking his time as Kim is going all wide open for the long two. They are trying to get him going, but he is struggling so far.
Well, struggling in the sense he has 9 points, but Laurier for another 3 in transition. That's his 3rd already. He is still hot from last night.
Yeah, the momentum is still strong as he's perfect from the field goal possession, making all 3 of his threes. As we get to see the nice passing as Kim goes for 3, no good there.
He's getting open, just can't get the buckets to fall like the Bikers are.
And right now, we're going to see Silvius going for a long two, but he's not able to make it there.
At this point, they're just shooting at will. Whenever they have an open look, they're taking it.
We're going to see Kusik taking his time, playing a point a little bit, as he gets a nice screen from Evans, and he goes for 3, and he makes it with ease.
Whew. Over the top of Mishima, the tall raccoon was not able to get a paw on it. The Lynx was unaffected.
Yeah, the Minx was able to take a little bit of that disadvantage and get that nice perimeter shot. So from the early going of this game, Biloxi showing a lot of life compared to the ending of the last game.
Well, how much of that life is really mattering right now? Dakota catching fire there. I think they almost went on a 10-point run unanswered before BLV really got a shot up.
That was good to see. Laurier bringing it up, playing a little bit of the point man. Laurier passing over to Silvius. Silvius for the long two. He goes in and out, but Mishima with the tip in.
No one there to contest the rebound. Mishima could just pat it in if he wanted to.
2-6. Letting things play out. He's going over to Evans. Evans going to Banksing. Banksing going deep with that mismatch, and he's able to lay it in against Silvius. Silvius taking his time, passing it up to Redfield. Redfield going over to Mishima. Mishima going for a tough shot there. No good. Kusik with the rebound. Kusik passing it over to Kim. Kim going over to Feckle. Feckle going over to Banksing. Banksing over to Kim. Kim for 3. And again, another miss.
He started off hot, but can't buy a basket now.
Right now he's 4 for 10 as Derby laying it up and in. So after a nice, what it seemed like a very nice start for Kim, a little bit of a struggles as we get to see Kusick pass it to Evans, going over to Feckle. A lot of passing going on for Biloxi. As Kim gets it, going for that long 2, but no good. Lawyer with the board. They might be relying on Kim a little bit too much. As now he's 4 for 11. As Mishima lays it up and in.
Considering he started off 4 for 6, I believe. He's really struggled as of late.
As Kim passing over to Kusick. Rookie going over to Bengzing. Bengzing going over to Feckle. Feckle back to Kim. Kim thought about it, but he's taking his time. He gets double teamed and he loses the ball. Oh, he passes it to Bengzing, excuse me. He passes it over to, I believe that was
Feckle.
Feckle, yep. But she misses it. So Lawyer is going to pass it over to Silvius. Silvius trying to find a way to get into the paint as he passes over to Lawyer. Lawyer going to Derby, and Derby tries to make a shot but misses.
Casper on the fast break. Easy layup.
Right now, it was a much-needed bucket there as they're only down by 7 this time. 25-18. Lawyer passes over to Silvius. Silvius for the free throw shot, but no good. As Kim brings it up, passes it over to Kusick.
Silvius also struggling. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Kusick with a step-back shot, but no good. But you are right. Silvius is not doing so hot offensively as Lawyer. Trying to make a pass to Mishima, but it gets deflected and stolen by Kusick. Feckle with the long 3. Hit into the side of the rim, though, as Silvius gets the rare board. Redfield passing it over to Mishima. Mishima laying it up there as he gets fouled by Evans.
Something to go back to while we have a pause in the action. Dakota's giving BLV plenty of open shots from the perimeter. They need to be careful because sooner or later BLV is going to start making it. So it's not hurt them yet, but BLV, if they start making those shots, can close this gap in an instant.
As we get to see Mika making his first bucket, and I definitely would agree with you there. It might be a little bit of the cockiness from the win from last night, but as you said, they might want to prevent from doing that as Mika was not able to make his second. As Xavier brings it up. Xavier taking his time along the perimeter. He passed it over to Vilka. Andreas trying to make some moves. Trying to go for the isolation play. He goes up for a wild shot, but no good. I don't know what he was doing there. He had to pass it up to let the play develop. And we get to see Ronnie trying to go for a drive, but instead he goes for a jumper. No good. Tough defense there going up against the much bigger Xavier Nutton. As Andreas goes for a long 2, and he's able to make it. So now Biloxi's only down by 6, 26-20.
Another inch back, and it would have counted as a 3. Might have been a little bit of a mistake there to rob himself of 1 free point.
Samantha passing over to Fulton. Lawyer for 3, and here he goes again, making it rain. Still perfect, 5 for 5 tonight. That's Xavier, passes it over to Andreas. Andreas trying to size up the raccoon, and he tries to dish it over to who I believe was
Mosley.
Trent Mosley, and he gets fouled. So he gets to go on the line for 2.
That is one way BLV can help close the gap, is if they continue to initiate contact and put some of these players in foul trouble. Derby definitely one of the players to keep an eye on with his fouls, as I'm assuming Sterling's going to eventually start adjusting to him and start figuring out how he defends him and start trying to initiate contact. Because if Derby gets in foul trouble, Dakota's depth at center starts to become a little suspect.
as Mosley was able to make his second. As Roni, his chance to bring it up, the Raccoon passes it over to Poyetier. Poyetier going over to Rose. Rose laying it up. No good there for the rookie, as Nutton brings it up. Nutton going for the long two. Why not? But not able to make it as Mosley gets the board. Second chance for Nutton to make the shot, and he makes of it.
Bit of a fadeaway at the free-point line there.
Yep, so right now, Biloxi is able to close the gap a little bit more. As we get to see Samantha passing it over to Nanton Karn. Fulton gets the board back as Allen passes it back to Fulton. Lots of passing as Poyetier goes for three. No good, hitting the side of the rim. So, Xavier passes it over to Butler. Butler for three. No good there. But,
Vilka able to get the offensive rebound and putting it back up and in. How much did you pay Dakota not to play Allen tonight as much as possible?
I don't know.
Nancy Karn is a difficult name for you to say.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mouthful as Rose passes it over to Poyetier. Lots of passing from Dakota as Samantha throws it up, but she gets fouled by Mosley. I believe that would be Mosley's first personal for the game.
I'm just glad your brother didn't pay off one of the teams to sign Moby, because that would have been a real nightmare for you.
Yeah, that would not be fun. That'd just be Moby all day, every day. Well, Samantha's able to make her first bucket. She gets on her way to make it to the second.
If she makes her second, it'll be a 5-point lead, but BLV will have the final possession of the game with only 10.3 seconds left.
Yep. And she's able to make it as Vilka is able to bring it down. And he looks like he will be making the final shot. And he does so with a long three. No good there, and that's how we're going to end the first. So Dakota is up by 5, 31-26.
BLV's bench proving to be the lifeline that's kept them in it so far. I believe Dakota's lead had swelled up to almost 10 points there before the bench came on and managed to get it down to 5 again. Keep an eye out to see how Dakota responds if they're going to put one of their starters back in, just to see if they can get a few more points out of them or if they're going to keep them rested. And it looks like that's going to be the case.
Indeed so, as we get to see Rose bringing it in, passing it over to Fulton. Fulton passing it over to Allen. Allen going over to Samantha. Samantha to Poyetier. Back to Fulton. Lots of passing on for the team in white. And Fulton almost losing the ball there.
Chest pass to your opponent, sounds about right.
As Allen goes for the long three, hits the side of the rim, and Vilka was able to get the board. That's Scott Parsons, who made a couple of threes last game. And Parsons taking his time as he passes it over to Soko. Soko going over to Reinhardt. Lots of passing from Biloxi. As Andreas gets a long pass over to Parsons. Parsons back over to Vilka. Vilka for three. No good there. And Samantha gets a nice board. Fulton passing over to Poyetier. Poyetier going to Nanta. Poyetier for three. No good. Right now, it's being a little bit of a cold streak for both teams.
Well,
I'm see Nutton going all the way up, but no good. But Jalen Rose with his first personal, as Xavier Nutton goes in the line for two. Of course, the crowd not having that.
No, they're not. To be fair, only been 1 minute of play so far, so both teams having a little struggles coming back on the floor is not surprising. And actually, Dakota's going to go ahead and sub in one of their starters back at shooting guard, Silvius.
Yeah, and actually he was drafted for that position specifically at first. But of course, with John coming in, he gets to play a little bit of the point. But right now, Silvius doing what he gets fouled there by Parsons with a reach-in.
Parsons trying to stop any momentum from developing from Dakota, but with a 4-point game right now. It's about stopping them here and getting the points even closer if possible.
Right now, Sylvia's trying to get the cutback, passing it over to Hayes. Hayes going over to Fulton. Fulton taking over to Tanner. Tanner trying to make the fake and passing over to Rose, and he lays it in ease. But I believe that's his first bucket for the rookie.
Yes, I think he did draw a foul earlier in the game and had some free throws, but that's his first basket.
As Nutton going over to Soko, and Soko going to Parsons. Parsons back to Soko. He gets it passing over to Vilko. Vilko for an open three, and he makes it with ease.
There you see the bench for the Voodoo, 8 points more than the Bikers. However, keep an eye out for a response three from Silvius. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what the play call is.
And right on cue, Silvius with a three, and it is good. So right now, the Bikers are back up by 6. Matthew, right now, 8 points so far in the game, and 4 assists.
That's unfortunately Dakota's style. If you're going to shoot a three on them, don't be shocked if they come right back to you with another one.
And right now, a missed bucket there from Biloxi, as Fulton's able to bring it up. Silvius with the rock once again. Fulton passes it over to Rose. Rose with a 15-footer, and he makes it look a little bit easy with the hand in the face.
7th overall pick from this year's draft. Fell from his 2nd overall ranking in terms of rookie. Maybe a little bit of a chip on his shoulder tonight.
So Xavier passes over to Parsons. Oh, and almost tipped away there. Vilka going for the long two.
Say Vilka passed himself essentially there off the defender.
Right now we see a nice dish in the paint, but no good. It was blocked, I believe, by Reinhardt. What do you know? As Parsons brings it up, passing over to Nutton. Right now the crowd's yelling defense as Selko has the rock. Passes over to Nutton. Right now a nice little hot potato as Selko tries to make the jumper, but no good there. Bolton passes over to Hayes. Hayes passes to Silvius, wide open for three, and he makes it look easy. And we get a timeout from Biloxi here.
Yeah, they're letting it slip away now. They had it within 5. Now it's an 11-point difference off 2 threes from Silvius that have gone unanswered.
And it looks like Kim is back in the fray. He passes it over to Vilka. Vilka passes to Kim. Kim with a long two, and he's able to make it.
This is actually my preferred lineup for BLV with Vilka and Kim on the floor, able to pass around with each other.
Good to see John passing over to Silvius. Silvius going to Hayes. John going for that long two, and it goes in and out, but a nice little second chance tip in by Redfield. And Dakota back taking the lead back to double digits, 43-32.
Are we sure he doesn't have wings? That deer flew for a second there. Didn't even touch the ground as he put it back up and in.
And Reinhardt able to answer back with a lay-in of his own. And Silvius bringing it up this time. Silvius passing over to Lawyer. Lawyer over to Tanner. Tanner passes it up to Silvius, and Silvius tried to lay it up, but he gets fouled by Kim. And that'll be his first personal. And Silvius being able to make the first. And just making the second as Dakota brings the lead back up by 11. Andreas bringing it up. Andreas taking his time. And Andreas trying to pass it over to Bankston, but it gets tipped and stolen by Redfield. Excellent defense there by Dakota.
Say that saved them a slam dunk. Sterling had an open lane to the basket. All it had to do was catch the ball, but the defender tipped it out of his reach.
Silvius for three, but it hits the side of the rim, and Bankston gets the board. As Andreas brings it up, and another bad pass. Was rushing a little too much as Silvius was able to get it in his paws.
Yeah, jump the
Derby.
passing lane right there. Derby loses it.
Derby gets it stripped by what I believe was Bankston. And, oh, man, right now, we're seeing a little bit of sloppy play from both sides. Turnover after turnover as Redfield trying to get a drive in. Instead, passes it to Tanner. Tanner going back over to Redfield. Redfield passes it up to Tanner. Tanner going for Lawyer. Lawyer for 3. No good there.
So after 3 consecutive steals, we finally see a basket taken, but missed and blocked by Derby out of bounds.
Right now, we're seeing a little bit of some hectic D from both teams. Though you can say a little bit of the sloppy play can come into play there.
You can, and John finally missing his shots, 5 for 7 now. No longer perfect from the floor.
Bangsing passes over to Kusick. Casper trying to make a pass, but it gets tipped and stolen by Mishima. And he passes it back over to Redfield. Redfield over to Sylvius, who gets the easy lay-in.
3 straight possessions for BLV that ended with a steal. Might want to call a timeout here just to get the nerves off of them because the defense for Dakota right now has stepped up.
Well, you see Casper Kusick with the long 3, but no good there. And right now, Redfield bringing it up. Redfield trying to pass it up, but it almost got stolen. But Sylvia's able to clean it up. Redfield gets to rock back. Gets a nice screen from Misha. And right now we get to see a nice pass over to Sylvia. It's got tipped in and it gets out of bounds. So Voodoo was able to get the ball back. Excellent defense picking it up.
Yeah, it looked like the pass got tipped there a little bit, and Sylvius just could not track it down before he stepped out of bounds, and BLV will end up calling a timeout here. Sit down and talk about what's going on right now.
Yeah, right now Dakota is up by 13, and that's not something that you would like to see. But you can say that as of late, the defenses for both sides really have stepped up. And we get to see a nice pass from Kusick. Kusick going over to Kim. Kim taking it to Falco. Tanya seeing Kim getting open for that screen, and he's able to make it in.
It's been really difficult to tell what you're going to get from Kim. He's making some great open shots, and sometimes they fall, but sometimes they just rim out, and Lawyer's going to try and take it up on his own, but no good.
Yeah, but right now Kusick has the rock. The rookie's trying to make some move. Got able to get passed by Lawyer. Try to lay it up and in. So Kusick trying to step up on the offensive end. As Sylvius gets a nice scheme from Misha. And Sylvia going over to Derby. Derby laying it up, but no good. Some tight defense on the Deer this time.
Yeah, it's been one player who's been quiet so far this game. Derby, not many points coming out from him.
Kusick passes it over to Kim. Kim for the long 2. And it hits the side of the rim as Redfield gets the board. Lawyer pulling it back a little bit as he passes it over to Mishima. Mishima going for that turn, and it's a tough shot. But was able to get the rebound off himself. And a foul there by Derek Kim, his second personal. Sylvia's get the chance to go on the line for 2.
Actually, they're not in the bonus, so they will inbound. Come on, Marcus, you played this game for a couple years. I think.
Hey, it is what it is. Sometimes you can make a mistake here on play-by-play. As we get to see a nice long shot from Allen, but no good. Kim going for the long 3, just chugging it up there, trying to get back into the rhythm 3-point wise. But Kim 6 for 15. We can see it pass over to Derby. Derby being able to get passed by Mosley, but Mosley blocks him. But Misha tries to clean up, and a lot of second chance points and one. Mosley with the foul.
Yeah, Mishima keeping it alive there, even though he missed his shot, gave Derby actually a better chance at the bucket. Opportunity for an and one here.
So we get to see Redfield and Mishima. It gives a chance to get some rest as Derby's able to get the old school 3 in. Kusick with the rock. Passing it over to Kim. Kim wide open for the long 2. And again missing. Lawyer with the board. Lawyer passing over to Nanta. Allen back to Lawyer. Lawyer trying to pass it into the bait, but it gets tipped and stolen by Mosley. So right now, a very much needed turnover for Biloxi as Butler brings it back. Pass it back over to Kim. Kim, pass it to Evans. Evans tries to pass it over, but it almost gets stolen, but Kim was able to clean it up with a nice clean three.
Someone needs to check Lawyer there. I think he got his bell rung by that ball as it hit him in the face, it looked like.
The Lawyer passed it over to Sam. Sam going over to Allen, and Allen lays it up and gets fouled by Kim. Kim starting to rack up the fouls a little bit. Might have to be a bit worried.
Yeah, third personal here, even though Kim is not known for having foul trouble, so the coach might let him stay in just because he knows Kim rarely really initiates the contact. So I think that's actually what the coach is going to do. More valuable to have him on the floor right now than let Dakota build much more of a lead.
We're going to see Allen going for a second one. And was able to make it. So we get a nice timeout from Biloxi once again.
Yeah, Biloxi burning through their timeouts, but needed. They can't let this game go into the second half with a large deficit. We saw last game, up until that last few minutes of this first half, they were neck and neck, and then they just let it slip away, and they never regained their footing throughout the game. So this is the critical moment for BLV if they want to stay competitive here tonight.
Yeah, right now the momentum really needs to be on their side as the half closes. They might not be able to take the lead, but a nice, quick run would be able to do justice as they go into the second half.
Yeah, get it within 7 and you're fine.
Cusick gets the rock. Pass it over to Kim, and Kim again wide open, but it gets blocked by Sam. Sam with a quick pause as Derby gets to dunk it home.
And that's not what I was talking about, going in with a good a good into the half there, giving up that fast transition to the Deer. He's not the fastest one on the court, but he was going fast down the court as fast as he could.
Yep, it's Nutton passing over to Mosley. Mosley pass it to Kim. Kim for the long three, in and out, and Derby gets the easy board as Allen brings it up. Allen taking his time as he passes it over to Derby. Derby passing it back to Allen. Allen has to make a shot here. Pass it over to Lawyer. Lawyer going over to Samantha. Derby laying it up and in. And right now, Derby builds up his momentum for the next half as he makes his second lay-in.
And just to point out the fact that he's been quiet, he suddenly starts to step up and racked up, I think, 7 points so far.
And Kim passing over to Mosley, and Mosley gets a nice little finger roll there. And we need to see Allen bringing it up. Allen taking his time, passing it back up to Derby. Derby with a fadeaway jumper, no good there.
Heat check is no good from Derby. Don't be surprised if we see him take a 3 at this rate.
Yeah, but we get to see a lot of passing over from Biloxi. Nutton passing it over to Kim. Kim gets a screen, and he passes back over to Mosley. Mosley's laying it up. No good there, but he gets a foul on Derby, which is actually his first personal.
Yeah, the BLV has not been able to put any pressure on Derby in terms of fouls. They still have time, but compared to some of the other players on BLV who are already at 3, I would be shocked if Derby gets anywhere close to foul trouble here tonight.
Yeah, but right now Mosley getting a chance to shoot for 2.
If you're BLV right now, what you're thinking about is let's get this down to single digits, make these 2 free throws, get a defensive stop. You have the final shot of the game, and as I say that, he bricks the first one. Not a good start. So Kusika gets subbed out for Parsons.
And he's able to rattle in the second one.
So maybe go for a 3 here, BLV, if you get the stop. Just to get that momentum back to single digits would be what you wanted to go into the second half with.
Lawyer passing up to Rose. Rose trying to make the free throw jumper, but wasn't able to get it down. That's Kim passing over to Nutton. Nutton going to Kim. Kim passing over to Reinhardt, and Reinhardt lays it in.
10-point game, but BLV giving up the final possession to go for the very close shot. A little surprised they didn't just wait for the shot clock to wind down before they took the shot, but we're going to see Dakota going with it.
And Lawyer with a nice flush to end the half.
Essentially a buzzer beater to get it back up to 12. Dakota 58, BLV 46. Gonna hop on over to the stats real quick. Lawyer finishing the half with 17 points, 6 from 9 from the field, and almost perfect from three-point land. Silvius 15 points, 4 assists and 2 steals, 5 for 10 from the field. Derby picked up his scoring there at the end, 11 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 big blocks. Redfield doing a bit of everything, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Mishima getting all his points on the putbacks with 4 offensive rebounds, has 5 points and 7 total overall. Samantha, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and a block. Her 2 points coming from the free throw line. And like I said, looking back at that, Mishima with that 4 offensive rebounds has given Dakota multiple chances for second point opportunity. Help build their lead up there with that. And then looking, of course, at Derby's excellent shooting, Derby, Silvius, and Lawyer's excellent shooting so far, especially from three-point land from the two of them. 8 for 10 between Lawyer and Silvius. Moving on to the bench now. Fulton, only 1 basket attempted but missed, but he has 3 assists as well. Rose, 2 for 4 with 4 points, 2 rebounds. Allen, 2 points, all coming from the charity stripe. Poitier, attempted 2 threes but missed both times, giving up 1 assist so far. Tanner, 3 rebounds and an assist. And then Hayes also with 2 assists coming off the bench. So the bench for Dakota has done basically nothing. 6 points between those guys right there. Moving on over to BLV. Derek Kim leading the way with 16 points. However, is shooting 7 for 19, shooting a little bit above 35%. Evans hasn't taken a shot yet. 1 assist, 1 rebound. Kusick stepping up more this game with 7 points, 50% from the field. Needs to start taking a few more shots probably. So watch it going his way. Feckle, Cole tonight, 0 for 4. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal. Sterling, 4 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist. And Newton, 1 basket with a free throw to add up to 3 points. Not much coming out from the veteran with his 9 minutes so far. The rest of the bench, a little bit more exciting considering Vilka with only 9 minutes, 7 points. 3 turnovers, though, have been costly for him. 2 rebounds and assists. Reinhardt, 4 and 4 with points and rebounds. 2 for 2 from the field. Mosley, 3 for 4 from the free throw line with 5 points, 4 rebounds, a steal, and a block. Parsons, only a rebound to his name. Same for Butler, even though he's taken 1 3 and missed it. Sokolovic, 1 assist and 0 for 2 from the field. Honestly, the bench for BLV has done a better job in terms of scoring, even though Kim has not been shy about taking open looks. It's just he has not been able to convert nearly as many as we'd hoped to see tonight.
Yeah, right now, compared to last game, the field goal position is a little bit more human. Well, I should say furry. My mistake. 45% from Dakota, and Biloxi is struggling a little bit with 39%.
What is this human you talk about?
It's a interesting scientific thing that a buddy told me. It was very weird.
Is this buddy also the FBA player that thinks the world is flat?
Possibly. You never know. Anyway, let's get back to the game here. As Redfield is the guy bringing it up. Passes over to Mishima. Mishima going over to Silvius. Passing back to Redfield. Redfield going over to Derby. Derby with a fadeaway jumper, making it fall in. Kusick, the rookie, bringing it up. The Lynx getting a screen from Felko. Kusick passes to Kim, and Kim again a little bit wide open, but in and out.
Yeah, at this point, Kim may just want to start passing it more often, even if Dakota's going to keep giving him open looks like that. Maybe tonight's just not his night.
Ooh. And we get to see a nice shove there by Lee.
Do you call that nice?
Getting a little bit more physical right here. I mean, hey, you can give a little physical here. I mean, right now you are in probably the most hostile place in the FBA.
Well, I mean, they have a long way to go to get home, so they might want to not make any enemies. And Mishima's not going to get the basket off the front iron. Hopefully we don't see any DQ level air balls on the free throw attempts tonight.
Uh, let's hope not. As we get to see Mishima trying to go for a second one. And he's able to rattle it home. So Kim bringing it up. Kim passing over to Kusic. Kusic passes it over to Evans. Evans trying to lay it up, and he gets the and one as Mishima gets his first personal.
Mishima a little nicer there, not shoving him, but that may have been the difference between Lee making the shot and him not.
And right now, Evans has a chance for the old school three-point play. No good there as Mishima gets the board. Going over to Sylvia's, passing over back to Mishima. Mishima gets a nice, thought to be a open layup, but Banksing with a denial.
Smashing it off the backboard, was able to grab the rebound himself. Good block coming out from the polecat there.
As he passes over to Fickle. Right now, Banksing showing some love with the with the reverse layup.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
We get to see Mishima with the rock this time. Handing over to Lawyer, and Lawyer immediately passes it over to Sylvius. Sylvius going to Derby. Derby thought about making a shot, but he lays it up. No good, but he gets fouled by Banksing.
Hook shot not his specialty, but had to put something up there. Trying to answer back against Sterling's close range shot. He's good on the first, though.
Yeah, and right now, Derby, once again, getting a nice number of points on the charity stripe.
That's been the one thing lacking for BLV this game is Craig Reinhardt's free throw volume, considering he has not gone to the free throw line once tonight.
As Kim passes over to Evans. Evans taking over to Feckle. Feckle for three, and she makes it look easy. And right now, Biloxi is able to get it back to single digits.
Yeah, that's what BLV needs. Kim finding the open for those threes will get them back in the game if they keep hitting them.
And Derby once again getting fouled by Banksing. That'll be his second personal for the game. And Derby getting a chance to get the lead back within double digits, and he will do so with the first bucket.
Surprised Dakota didn't decide to answer back with a three of their own there, but if Derby's feeling it, just keep feeding the deer.
Yep, it's Derby. Is able to make a second one. So Dakota's now back up by 11, 64-63, as Kusic brings the rock up. Kusic passing to Kim. Kim going for that 15-footer, in and out. Lawyer bringing it up, and he passes up to Derby, and Derby is just feed it to the deer. Just let him go to the charity stripe.
It's what is becoming right now is just give the ball to Derby, and he'll get you a foul at the very least.
So yeah, it seems like Biloxi is now starting to lose containment of the deer, as Derby is able to make the first one but miss the second. And Feckle is bringing it up. And Feckle going for the three, and she makes it! Feckle is starting to make some noise here as she brings it back within single digits, 65-56. Sylvia's looking for the Lawyer. Lawyer passes it up to Derby. Derby passing it to Lawyer, and Lawyer laying it up and in. Right now, Andreas brings it up, and we get to see a timeout. I believe that's a timeout on Dakota's end.
Yeah, Dakota going to get a little bit of a break there. The tempo of the game can speed up so quickly, and you don't even realize it on the floor. That'd be the one thing they don't want to do, is wear themselves out before the fourth quarter even starts with their fast-paced tempo.
Yeah, you're right on that, as we get to see I guess we're just chilling out, waiting for the team to set
Inbound.
up.
The ref to
As,
decide to hand the ball off, but
and right now we get to see Andreas getting the Brock in as he passes it over to Kusick. Kusick getting a nice little spin move and finger roll.
the double clutch worked out for him. Oh,
and
gosh.
Mishima getting fed in with an easy dunk there. Getting a nice quick answer. As Fecko gets the board, gets the rock, passing up to Evans. Andreas wide open for three. Hits the side of the rim though.
Again, another open shot for BLV that just did not want to fall down for them. If even a third of those shots had fallen, this game would be tied right now.
Yeah, but Sylvia passes to Derby, and Derby was surprisingly long too, but he misses it there.
I told you he's getting further and further from the paint. Watch out, those heat checks.
And but right now we get to see Kusick with the rock, passing over to Bangzing. Bangzing hands it over to Kusick. Kusick taking his time, trying to size up the cat as he passes it over to Vilka. Vilka struggling to go for a wild shot here, but no good. And we get to see a loose ball foul by Sterling Bangzing. So it looks like it'll stay on Dakota's side as Lawyer brings it up.
Yeah, it's his third foul now, and they've been racking up quickly. He needs to be careful.
And Derby, once again, with a mid-range shot, not making it this time. As Andreas brings it up. Andreas passes it over to Feckel. Feckel get a nice screen, and Feckel with the open lane, laying it up and in.
Feckel just stepping it up here in the second half, keeping BLV close. That is her 8th or 9th point, I believe, because she's had 2 threes.
And we get to see Sylvia's passing over Derby, and Derby laying it up and gets fouled by Feckel. Her first personal. Right now, the Deer is just living right at home on the charity stripe.
Might as well just have him stand there all game at this rate. So that's his 7th or 8th foul he has drawn.
And Derby's able to make these buckets, and that's what's making the key thing here. He's a very well free throw shooter.
Yeah, it's a death by 1,000 paper cuts for BLV right now.
And right now, Andreas trying to find a way to get into the lane. And he goes trying to lay it up and in, but no good. But Sylvia's draws the foul.
Yeah, a lot of dribbling coming out from Vilka there, but finally able to get close enough to the paint that he felt comfortable taking the shot and getting the contact initiated.
And he's able to make the first one with ease.
I said, despite the scoring, BLV has kept it within 10 or 11 for the past 5 minutes, which means all they need to do is get a small run going and they can whittle it down a little bit more and get it reasonable again.
As Sylvia's passed over to Lawyer. Lawyer thought about driving, but pulled back a little bit with the defense. Lawyer passes to Sylvia's. Sylvia's trying to get the screen. Gets the switch, but he loses the ball as Vilka picks it up. And right now, Feckel with a 3. And, oh, nice tip in there from the miss by Feckel. Banksing playing cleanup there. Right now, he's 8 points, 12 rebounds. As Redfield passes up to Derby. Derby, Sylvia's wide open for 3, but it's in and out. As Kusick passes over to Vilka. Vilka tries out for that 3, and he makes it with ease. And right now, Biloxi, look out. They're only down by 4. As Sylvia passes it up to Derby. Derby trying to pass into the paint, but he loses but it's a costly turnover there. As Vilka goes for a wild 3. And it hits the side of the rim, but an over-the-back foul by Banksing.
That might be a momentum killer there with another foul from Sterling, and in fact, it's going to be a bonus opportunity. Misses the first one, though, and I think we might see Sterling being benched here. No, actually, they're going to be subbing in Reinhardt, actually, keeping Sterling on the floor despite the 4th foul. With over 17 minutes to go, all he needs is 2 more, and he's done for the night.
Yeah, but we're good to see Andreas try to make a little bit of noise. He passes back up to Nutton. Nutton. Back over to Andreas.
He has
And
the
just trying to
he has the
side.
height advantage there.
Yep, it's Falco going for 3. And no good there as Lawyer gets the board. Lawyer gets stripped from Nutton. The old squirrel with a fast pause going for that 15-footer. No good there. But Lawyer gets the rebound.
Beckel just barely missing the offensive rebound, a little too high off the bounce.
And Samantha is able to draw the foul on Bankston, and that's his 5th personal.
That's
they
his
have to take him out this time for the rest of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, they need Sterling in this game right now, but they're going to sub him out after that.
Yeah, you already saw that Bankston was already walking his way out and not even waiting for the bucket to whether or not go down, as Samantha was able to make her 2nd.
About to say, I think he's had 4 fouls in this quarter alone.
Yeah, and the frustration obviously there. As we get to see Nutton passing it up to Vilka. Vilka for 3, and it is good. And my mistake, his paws were on the line. But still, right now, Vilka is showing a lot of momentum offensively. That's Redfield getting Lawyer open for 3. Hitting the side of the rim, though. Reinhardt gets the board, passing it up to Vilka. Vilka going over Nutton. Nutton passes to Mosley. Mosley going to Vilka. Vilka trying to lay it up. No good. As Ronnie with a surprise rebound. As Lawyer was getting fouled by Nutton for the reach-in. Nutton trying to get lucky twice by taking it out of the Meerkat's paws, but not this time. The Meerkat going up for his first free throw. And he makes the first. John taking his time.
Still only a 6-point game here, even with making both free throws. All BLV needs is a quick 3 here, and they will stay within striking distance.
And right now, Nutton is a guy that you can do it. He's known to do things like that. But Vilka with the hot hand, going for the long 2, no good there. Lawyer gets the board again.
Maybe not so hot, starting to struggle. Point guards not able to stay consistent tonight for BLV.
As Rose trying to go for the finger roll, but he gets fouled on the way up. So Reinhardt with, I believe, his first personal.
Yeah, but
so
10
Rose.
Team foul, if you look at that. 10 team fouls in only 8 minutes of play. That's over a foul a minute so far for BLV.
Yeah, right now they have to find a way to relax a little bit, even though that it's a little bit out of range, but it's not as bad as it was in game 1.
No,
so
they're still very close.
As we get to see Jalen Rose, the rookie, going for his 2nd shot. And he was able to get bank it in. So right now, Andrea's bringing it up. Passing over to Xavier. Xavier passing up to Andreas. Andreas trying to size up the little raccoon. He passes up to Nutton. Nutton for the open 3. And he's able to rattle it in. And Biloxi is once again down by 5.
Giving it to the veteran there to get the points on the board is what they need to do right now.
I was going to see Redfield passing up to Lawyer. Lawyer passing it back to Redfield. Redfield going in the paint with Rose. And lots of passing going over as Rose goes for a tough shot, and he's able to make it with the fadeaway. Jalen Rose having a pretty solid night coming off the bench. 8 points so far in the game. As Andreas, once again, trying to use his nice dribbles. So he passes it over to Mosley. Mosley trying to lay it up and in, but he gets blocked by Samantha. As Fulton brings it up. Lawyer passes it over to Sam. Sam trying to take her time. She might need to pass it up to somebody. If she does, go over to Fulton. Pass it up to Redfield. Fulton trying to lay it up with the drive, but wasn't able to get it. But gets fouled by Reinhardt.
As I say, I don't think you need to foul Fulton there. Just stand over him and lean, and you block the ball. But gonna go to the line for 2. The refs tend to give a little bit of favor to the small guys when contact is initiated.
Yeah, but right now, with the first bucket made, Dakota is now up by 8. And right now, Derek Kim gets to come back in.
He's actually been hot when he's had a minute or two to rest. Coming back in his second time, he hit 2 straight away, so keep an eye on him. Might be able to get 3 or 2 quick in this possession. Even though Lawyer's going to strip it.
Yeah, and Lawyer's going to take his time and pass it back up to Fulton. And Fulton gets fouled by Kim with his 4th personal. I believe that was a reach-in foul. So Ronnie back in the line for 2.
12th team foul. Not even been 10 minutes yet, so.
Yeah, Biloxi might need to relax a little bit on the defensive end, because right now they're giving Dakota easy points.
They don't call for the charity stripe for nothing.
Yeah, we're going to see Andreas tries to get for a tough shot there, but defended well against Lawyer. He was pretty much complaining for a foul there, but he's not going to get it. Redfield has the rock currently. And right now, it looks like Lawyer going open for 3, and it's no good. So right now, Nutton has the rock. They're down by 11 as Feckle goes for the long 2. The lucky bounce was not there this time, as we get to see Dakota with the rock once again. Redfield going over for the fadeaway jumper, and he rattles it home. Dakota now back up by 13.
And that statistic there, 18 more free throws. Wipe those from the board, and this game is actually in BLV's favor.
And Kim going for the 3, no good. Rose with the board. And Redfield bringing it up. Looks like he was trying to go for a drive, but he decided to pass it back up to Lawyer. Lawyer taking over to Rose. Rose passing to Lawyer, and Lawyer tries to lay it in, but he gets fouled by Andreas. Andreas showing a lot of frustration right now, and I'm sure a lot of the Biloxi players are as well. As Lawyer is able to make the first one.
I'm going to need to pull up my abacus and keep track of these fouls. They're starting to get a little high up there. This is the 13th team foul for BLV.
Yaba's Lawyer missing the second. So right now, Biloxi down by 14, and Feckle is able to cut the deficit a little bit. Getting a nice pass from Andreas. So Tanya being a scoring machine, all from the second half, 10 points. Redfield passing over to Samantha. Samantha trying to pass it. Oh, thought it was stolen there, but Jalen Rose was able to lay it in. Could have been disastrous there on Dakota. But they'll take the easy 2 as Andreas. It's a nice screen from Feckle. Gets a good advantage switch, and he gets the lane a little bit open. Laying it up, but no good. It's Fulton. Rock taking his time, passing it over to Lawyer. Lawyer for long 3, and he rattles it home.
First basket for him in a long time, it feels like.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a cold footing, and again, sloppy offense as Lawyer stacking up a little bit of his stats with the fast break.
Well, he goes coast to coast from the steal, laying it up and in. Defense wasn't able to get back there in time to really give much of a pressure, but Kim, buzzer beater, does make that. 0.6 seconds left on the shot clock. Not enough time for Dakota to really get a shot up, though.
Yeah, as we get to see the end of 3, Dakota still high offensively, 93-76. And it has been a little bit of a struggle for Biloxi because of the heavy foul trouble there during the entirety of that game, of that quarter.
Very much so. I mean, when you're going to look at the field goal percentage, Dakota is obviously going to have a better field goal, but that's because 9 shots have not counted as misses just because of the fouls. I mean, over 18 more free throws for Dakota would get this game back to being competitive between the two of them. And
right now we get to see a long 3 from Cusick not being able to go down. as Derby was able to get the board. And right now, some quick, fast break points as Dakota is able to get the easy 2. They're up 95-76 so far at the start of the 4th quarter. As the rookie Kusik being caught by Mishima. Kim going over for a long 2, no good there as Mishima gets the board. Silvius taking his time.
At this point, it's almost worth just having the shooters just taking whatever shots they feel comfortable with, trying to get some kind of momentum.
Oh. And he gets and Mishima with a nasty, nasty dunk there. And one.
Yeah.
And again, the foul trouble is more and more worrisome.
Well, that's the thing. Every player for BLV has a foul or 2 at this point. It's not like one player aside from Sterling has many fouls. I think Kim has 4, and that's the most next on the team.
And Kim going for a tough 3 there, and he's able to make it, though.
That's a bit more like him.
Yeah, right now we need a couple of more from him. Mishima wasn't able to make it this time. Kusik with the rock. Kusik passing over to Kim. Kim passing over to Reinhardt. Reinhardt trying to get something going, and Derby tips it. That pass was trying to go over to Kim, but some quick pause on the way from, I believe that was Mika with the tip in. And right now, Banksing with the rock. Banksing going for a desperation mid-ranger, but is not able to make it. And Silvius trying to pick up the pace a little bit. Slows it down, passing over to Fulton. Fulton going over to Derby. Derby passing to Rose. Silvius with a long 3, and it's in. So Dakota once again breaking the century mark. And right now they are out rebounding the Voodoo by 11. As Kusik passes up to Kim. Kim for the long 2, and he's able to make it this time.
It's 2 in a row from Kim now. 23 points, 10 for 26, shooting a bit above 35%. Still, you want to see that number more closely to 40-45 before you start seeing real productivity from a team player.
Yep, and Fulton trying to do a cute pass, but it wasn't good at all. And Kusik with the long 2, trying to make him pay for it. No good there, though.
Yeah, the rookie just trying to get something going a little too quickly there. Could have probably developed a play rather than going for the transitional shot.
See, he was getting screened by Derby, and Derby able to slam it home. Kim passing up to Evans. Right now, we need a little bit of a nice run, but we're not getting it here as Sylvia was able to pick it up with ease. As Sylvia's going for a long 3. And right now, I'm seeing a little bit of a deja vu here. As Evans gets the rock, passing up to Kim. Kim passing over to Reinhardt. Reinhardt back to Kim. Kim guarded heavily here. As Kim going for the long 3, no good. As Derby gets aboard. And Silvius gets a 3, and right now, he's cooking. Kim passing up to Kusik. Kusik taking his time. As he goes for the long 3. No good.
He did not
right now
set up at all for his 3 there.
Yeah, Kusik's trying to be a little desperate here. And right now, Mishima trying to lay it in, but he gets able to get his own rebound and able to get the second chance points.
That's his 5th offensive rebound tonight, especially considering he put it up himself.
Yeah, right now Mishima getting most of his points in the paint, as Kim was able to find a way to get to the paint himself, get a nice little finger roll. But right now, Biloxi needs to get a stop here, as Derby doesn't seem like he's gonna miss from within the 15.
Well, and that right there is the problem. Looking at the field goal percentage, BLV actually picked it up in the second half, but Dakota just has not been missing. 66% so far in the second quarter. Kim going to go for a shot. Robbed, though, as it rolls out.
And right now, Fulton passing up to Derby, going over to Rose, killing up to Mishima. Mishima throwing it up there, but no good. As Banksing was able to get the board. Evans bringing it up. Evans passing over to Kim. Kim taking his time. And he gets fouled by Sylvius, reaching his third personal. So right now it's Sylvie Biloxi's ball, but we're seeing a whole change up here. We get to see a lot of the bench coming on.
Yeah, from both teams. Sides. No shock there. 30-point game right now. Almost turned over there on the inbound pass, though.
Yeah, but Parsons passing up to Kim. Kim going over to Soko. Soko with the first lay-in. So right now, the deficit is down by 28. They're going to have a pretty big run, and they can be able to do it. Because I will say that the bench has been more productive on Biloxi's side more so, and we get to see another miss there for Dakota.
Yeah, if there's one thing that BLV has, it is a deeper bench, especially with more veterans. Dakota just focusing on their starting lineup this year was not able to bolster much of a bench play at all, and we're going to see Sokovic laying it up and dunking it, in fact.
And right now, they might actually get a chance to see a little bit of a run as Poitier gets the rock. He passes over to Allen.
Maybe force Dakota to bring their starters back out if they get it going here.
Yeah, but right now, Allen pulling back, passing over to Tanner. Tanner trying to lay it up, and he gets the lucky roll. And right now, Kim bringing it up. He passes over to Parsons. Parsons tried to pass it over to Mosley, but it gets stolen by the quick Rooster, Poitier, but they weren't able to capitalize there. And right now we get to see Parsons taking his time. Parsons passes over to Kim. Kim with a nice long two, excuse me.
He's actually been better in the fourth quarter tonight. If only he'd been shooting this consistent earlier, the game might be a little bit closer. But even then, not taking into account the free throw differential here, that might not have made that much of a difference.
Yep, it's Hayes trying to go into the nice jump shot. And right now, Parsons bringing it up. Parsons gets the screen. And right now we get to see Kim once again going for the long two. No good. And Poitier bringing it up. The chicken. Taking his time as he gets stopped in his track. Passing up to Hayes, and Hayes gets the and one. And right now, Biloxi is just having a very sloppy defense, and it looks like...
Say, are they subbing Kim out? No, I'm not 100% sure there. If they keep Kim in, yeah, they are. I'm not shocked, though. I think they're trying to get him back in a rhythm. This game may be done, but he still can look for finding that shooting stroke because he's getting plenty of open looks tonight.
Yeah, and right now we get to see another bad pass from Biloxi's side as Hayes is able to get the easy buckets. And right now we get to see Parsons. Taking his time, passing it up to Kim. Kim for three. Hitting the side of the rim, though, as Poitier gets the board.
Like I said, at this point, BLV is just passing it to Kim and telling him to shoot no matter what, even if it's not going in.
And Hayes going for a very interesting reverse layup.
Like I said, BLV's coach, we talked about yesterday, Dakota being a little cruel, BLV being a little cruel here, expecting Kim to keep shooting despite his struggles.
And right now, Parsons driving it in and making his first bucket of the entire game. Didn't see a lot of him minutes-wise. As Hayes passes it over to Tanner. Tanner going to Allen. Allen going to Poitier. Poitier passing over to Tanner. Tanner going to Hayes. Hayes pulling back a little bit. Hayes trying to find something as he's passes to Pusier for the long three, and he's able to make it as the shot clock winds down.
At this point, Dakota is just making everything they put up right.
Yeah, it just seems like everything is going their way as Parsons taking it time. He passes it up to Kim. Kim, once again, having not a lot of time left as he puts it up, but able to drill it in. So right now, Kim almost at 30, but looking at the field goal shots that he's made, it can take that with a pinch of salt. As Hayes going along the three-point line. Hayes going over to Tanner, backing up to Samantha. Samantha back to Tanner. Lots of passing. The team in white. And right now, they're just playing keep away as Allen goes for the three. No good there. Carson gets the board. And
Tanner
right now,
tipping it.
Yeah.
Like I said, the game's winding down at this point. BLV, Dakota. I wouldn't be surprised if they just run down the shot clock here.
Yeah, but we get to see Allen laying it up. No good here in the garbage time. As Butler coming in. Going over for the long 20-footer, but no good there. So I think as things winds down, what do you think the Biloxi has to do as they are able to go back home for game 3? As
well,
Poitier missing that three-pointer.
With the day off for travel, I think they're going to be spending a lot of time watching the game footage because a lot of Dakota's points have come off the transition. We're actually going to see a foul here from Tanner from Parsons is going to get to go to the line for 2. I would not be shocked if they work more on recognizing the plays that Dakota's been running because even from the booth here, we've been able to call out the plays ahead of time when it looks like they're going to do a double screen. And if that's the case, then they should be able to switch defenders and get a paw in the face of either Lawyer or Silvius. And doing that is all you need to do to really increase your chances of them missing. So that might be the biggest change that we're going to see coming into Game 3 is a little bit more preparedness for this screen play, considering this has been a back-to-back game series with no time really to make adjustments.
Yeah, and speaking of the fact that we get a change of scenery with the crowd on your side as well, so that could probably help a little bit for the momentum as well.
Well, sleeping in your own bed, not having to sleep on the crappy hotel room, mini bar, whatever amenities that BLV has gone for their team. Dakota missing their shot. Might see BLV try to break 100 here. They go for a quick shot, but it doesn't look like it. They're going to let time wind down. Newton driving in and blocked.
Yeah, nice block there by Samantha.
Now, Dakota, do you have a heart? Are you going to take a 3 here and try and make it 130? Or are you going to let them in the game 127-95?
Now it looks like they're going to let it run out.
Yeah, maybe Dakota's coach got a little stern talking to after last game where he subbed in his starters. Final score, 127 Dakota, BLV 95. Heading over to the stats for the teams. Lawyer, 28 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals. 9 for 14, did not shoot as much coming into the second half, but still doing well. Derby, 23 points, 11 rebounds, keeping his dub-dub average going. 1 assist, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Silvius, 24 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals. Also shooting well, 8 for 14. Redfield, not doing much on the floor, but handling the ball out well. 4 assists for him and a steal. Mishima, also with the dub-dub, 15 points, 11 rebounds, 5 of which were offensive. 16 for 13 from the field, but struggled from the free-throw line, only 3 for 7. Bolton, all 4 of his points coming from the free-throw line, and also dishing out 7 assists, tying Silvius for the assist total for today's game. Missing his only shot as well. That was not a fouled attempt. So just looking at the starters, Mishima stepping up as the power forward, putting up 15 points. Rose also coming off the bench, 10 points, 6 rebounds, assist, and a steal. Samantha, 3 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 blocks, one of them coming in garbage time, however. Allen, 2 points, 1 assist, struggled from the field 0 for 5. Only points coming from the free throw line. Poitier, 1 for 4 from 3 point land, and 3 assists, a steal, and a rebound. Tanner, the big zebra, pulling down 6 boards in his 12 minutes on the floor, and an assist and steal as well. Hayes, 9 points and 3 assists. Moving on over to Kim, struggling from 3 point line. If you remove his 3 points, he actually did well from the field, but 13 for 33 for 29 points, 4 assists and a steal. Kusick, 9 points, 4 for 10, not able to get much going either. Lee Evans, 2 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists and a steal. Beckel had a bit of a run there, but still struggled from the floor. 4 for 11, 2 for 7 from 3 point land, 3 assists and 3 rebounds. Sterling, 3 for 5 with 13 rebounds, 8 points total, and a block. Reinhardt, not much of a game tonight, only 2 for 2, 4 points, unable to go to the free throw line once after putting up 15 yesterday. Vilka off the bench, not doing much better than Kim was, 5 for 16, 2 for 5 from 3 point land, shooting below 33%, even worse than Kim actually. Newton, 2 for 5, 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and a steal. Mosley, 5 points and 7 rebounds, most of his points coming from the free throw line, 3 for 4 there, with a big block and a steal as well. Sokolovic, that big dunk there in garbage time, looked like they may have been going on a run, but unable to continue the momentum. Scott Parsons, 1 for 1 with 4 points, 3 assists. And then Butler, 3 assists as well. Going on over to the player of the game, honestly for Dakota, it could be anyone. Derby, Silvius, or Lawyer all put up respectable games. And looks like, based on the stats, it goes to Silvius with 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. Just going ahead and looking at the team comparisons there. Field goal percentage for Dakota actually worse than yesterday. However, the big stat I am looking at is the free throws. So many more free throws for BLV, actually not even showing up. Yes, it is showing up here, sorry. 19 more free throws made by Dakota. 38 attempted, they still missed 9. BLV only took 13 total.
Yeah, I think that from throughout this game, one of the things that they really have to look forward is the focus on the defense. It just seems like that they are struggling within the paint when someone drives, especially when Derby. They, even though they contained him a little bit in the first half, at the start of the second, it was a whole different deer, and they were just feeding it to him in the paint.
Yeah, and especially when he was getting all those fouls racked up, that really started to hurt BLV. I mean, Dakota missed as many free throws as Biloxi basically made. That is not a good stat to be running with. If BLV, if the differential was 1 or 2, the game would have ended up being 95 to 108, a much more respectable scoreline. Really, the free throws ended up killing BLV in the end. They ended up taking more shots than Dakota, 93 compared to 84. Dakota converting their shots mostly because of the free throws. And like you pointed out, points in the paint, Dakota 48 points from down low versus 36. Fast breaks also 27 to 9, especially those threes coming in from Lawyer and Silvius, making it difficult. The most of the other stats actually very similar. Dakota with 4 more blocks though and 4 more steals, and actually were able to generate points off turnover, 15 for Dakota compared to 7 for BLV. And actually, BLV's lead of 6 was the largest for them very early in the game, and then they started to struggle much later on.
Yeah, and going back to the foul trouble, Biloxi having 3 times more compared to Dakota, that is something you really do not want to see
No.
in a finals game, or really any game.
Well, 13 of those came in the third quarter. So remove 13, pretend the third quarter did not exist for BLV, and that would probably fix a lot of their problems for this game.
Yeah, I agree. So I think that really one of the biggest things that they have to really focus on is their second half game plan, is to be able to be more prepared, because it seems like Dakota is just very well prepared to counter whatever they're going to have in because Biloxi did played fairly well throughout the first half. It's just with the second start of the second half.
Even through most of the third, remember it was a 4 point game with 5 minutes left in the. Even I think within 3 minutes left in the third quarter, it was a 5 point game. That's just when the fouls started to really take effect. I mean, Dakota's. I go back to the tapes, but I'm pretty sure Dakota in the third quarter had only taken 8 shots compared to BOV's 16 because of all the fouls that occurred.
Yeah, so I think right now is just being able to find a way to not be overwhelmed by Derby because it really did seem that throughout that portion of the third quarter that was the main story to be taken away from this game is to find a way to take take a step back and not try to first of all try not to have much room for the big deer because right now it just seems like no one was taking his time with them because those pick and rolls have been very very costly for the Voodoo to go
Well,
up against.
and I mean, you bring up a good point. Actually, very early in the game, Derby was very quiet, and I think that was because Sterling's uh, defense was much more effective when Derby was stationary. As soon as the Dakota Biker started passing the ball more and Derby was more in motion, is when we saw him take off. When he gets momentum, he's very difficult to stop without fouling him, as we saw, especially on the switch offs when Lee or Craig has to take over because of a pick and roll. So BOV might need to be a little bit more passive on their pick and rolls, and rather than trying to fight through them, just undercut them and hope that the help defense is reading the screen well enough to cut them off, driving to the basket.
Yeah, I will definitely agree here.
Oh my!
Uh,
Excuse me, I am dying of the flu apparently.
well, don't touch me. I'd rather not have flus. It's
You,
not
you,
it's
you
not
don't want
good.
the bird flu?
Nah, not really.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
I like the cold, but not that much.
yeah. Well, that wrapped up this game for BLV and Dakota. Dakota now leads 2-0. We will, however, take a break from the action as we travel tomorrow. Next game will be the day after tomorrow. We will see all y'all furs there. Thank you for tuning in. Can't wait to see y'all in Biloxi.
All right, take care.